Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we're looking at another kind of weird Tuesday night slate here as we continue to look at who's sitting out tonight in these COVID protocols. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the page. We got a couple of videos up for you today. In this one, we're going to be looking at the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at home there in Dallas. Make sure you do check out Nate's article up on playpicks.com as well with some best bets and player props in there for you. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, right now it's Dallas +1 at home. No Luka Doncic, no Maxi Kleber or Willie Cauley-Stein, who's been out for a while. Some other guys, Reggie Bullock, Josh Green, also out due to protocol. And Minnesota without Anthony Edwards, Patrick Beverley, Josh Okogie, and Jared Vanderbilt and Taurean Prince. The one layer of suspense here is will Kristaps Porzingis play? He is dealing with a toe injury. And if he does not play, I don't know how Dallas is going to deal with Karl Anthony Towns. If they throw Boban out there, that'll be some entertaining cross-ups, I'm sure. But we will come back to this game. We're going to look at the other 5 games on the slate. Other 4 games, sorry. Things getting postponed left and right. Yeah. Pacers are -2 at the Heat. The Pistons are +7 at the Knicks. The Blazers +2 at Pelicans. And then the Suns are -7 at the Lakers, who just announced Anthony Davis will be out a month with a knee sprain there. We'll break that one down for you in another time. But look, Minnesota, just a 1-point favorite right now, basically a pick'em line. It's one of these weird home-and-home series where they just beat Dallas at home 2 days ago, 111-105. The over is hit in consecutive games between these, and actually 4 straight meetings with the Mavericks now. But when Dallas goes home, it tends to go under. They've actually gone under in 6 straight home games, and they're 10-3 to the under at home. I'm not leaning towards under at all, though, with all those good wing defenders out for Minnesota. I think Dallas will be able to get theirs. But really, and then we've seen in the second of their home and home series, they tend to go over, both against the Suns and Clippers. That happened. I mean, that's too small a sample size to really read into it. Let's move on. Let's just talk spread. Wolves -1, winning the game. They've won 4 straight. They've actually been a very good team, 15-10, +4 net rating when D'Angelo Russell is active. And when he's out, they have a -18 rating, and they've lost all 5 of those games. In the four games, the 4 wins since getting D-Russ back, they're back to 5th in defensive rating, playing at the 9th fastest pace. They've covered in 9 of their last 10 against Western Conference teams. And this is a streaky team that's 9-5 straight up following a win. Anthony Edwards is a fantastic talent, but it seems like D'Angelo Russell, for whatever reason, is a little bit more important to this team, maybe as a veteran leader. Maybe his defense is being underrated right now. But Minnesota, we've seen really rise up and play good defense lately, whereas Dallas, they've kind of been scraping by in 4 straight games without Luka. They're 6th in defensive rating, but over the larger sample size, they're 22nd in defense at home. They've only scraped by playing at the slowest pace in the league in those games, and Minnesota can ramp it up a little bit. But I think with Cat, who dropped 24 on Porzingis 2 nights ago, he's averaging 26 points per game with an absurd 136 offensive rating in 7 games against Dallas. I don't think they'll have any answers for him, even if Porzingis gives it a go here, if he's hobbled at all. So definitely a big advantage for Minnesota there, having their top dogs. I mean, 2 of their big three intact, and Dallas not necessarily having either of their best players active.
Yeah, 100%. And for Dallas, I'm scared of taking it over with them without Luka ever. Their offense is so stagnant, and so obviously reliant upon him to do pretty much everything for them. There's no ball movement. There's really very few player movements other than just guys switching on the wings. A lot of dribble handoffs at the top of the key that don't do much. Just really lackluster, wanting an offense. We'll just mention once again, Jason Kidd, not our favorite NBA coach if you're trying to win or be good. A few stats. you started off with just talking about the total a little bit. I know that's not even really where your mind is, and neither is mine. I think the easy bet here that makes us go, this is fantastic, is the -1 there for Minnesota. Playing on the road doesn't really matter. Playing in Dallas doesn't really matter. The second of these back-to-backs, like you said, Dallas seems to be an even more different team in that second game, giving up a ton of points. Weirdly enough, the stats that were jumping out at me in this one are actually what the Timberwolves do and don't do when Anthony Edwards plays versus doesn't play. Their offensive rating with him is 109 this season. Without him, it's 112. Even more damning and very odd is that their offensive rating or defensive rating with him is 109 points per 100 possessions. Without him, it's 99 points per 100%. That's an incredible leap there of 10 points per 100 possessions better on defense when he's not playing. That really blows my mind. And I still think he's a great player. If you want the discussion of who would I rather have between him and LaMelo Ball, I'm still taking Melo, but Edwards is an incredible player, is going to be in this league for a while. So it's a weird stat there. And the defensive stat, an increase in play for Minnesota when D'Lo is on the floor is also weird to me. But look, this is a team that's like coming out. They're actually gelling a little bit better together. We know the difference when the three stars play together versus when they don't this season. Much better team. I know Ant's not playing, but I don't think he's needed in a game where I have zero idea where you're going to generate offense for this Dallas team, especially if KP doesn't play. I feel like he needs to play if Dallas is serious about continuing to maintain any kind of pace at having a shot at any kind of playoff spot right now. They sit pretty far out as it stands. So, they have plenty of ground to cover. And I think, at the end of the day, Minnesota, they are streaky this season, and I think they're on an uptick, and I think they're an overall better team than Dallas. They're about as good as Dallas this year when Luka plays. He's not in the lineup. You also don't have Maxey, as well as a couple other guys, shooters and Bullock, who, I think they're going to miss and has missed a ton of time this season. Hasn't been very good for them, but they're going to be lacking shooters. So there's not even going to be much dribble and drive and kick for guys like Jalen Brunson tonight. I think, if you wanted to take an under of any kind, you would go with the Dallas team total. I think that but really what we're saying here is that -1 spread is way too low. And you can get some pretty good value on it. Might even consider bumping that thing up to an alternate line, maybe get it up to about -4, get close to double the odds on your money there, and feel really good about the juice you're getting.
Yeah, because we might see a close there if Porzingis is, tentative in any way to play or ruled out. But yeah, if you're talking about shooting, the advantage is seriously on the Wolves side here. They've been sixth best in terms of holding opponents to under 31% from three, held Dallas to 29% in this last meeting, whereas Dallas gave up 44% in their last meeting, and they're giving up nearly 40% from three. And the Wolves scoring their second highest percentage of points from deep recently. The Anthony Edwards stuff you bring up, it doesn't surprise me that much because he's, still a sophomore who probably doesn't understand the concepts of team defense as well as a guy like D'Angelo Russell or even Malik Beasley, who's going to get a lot of run with these wings out. And I think that's why Minnesota's 3-point shooting has ramped up so much when you got Malik in there. So it's going to be a make or miss league here, but the stats certainly indicate that Minnesota is going to have an advantage there from the perimeter, especially if Cat is going up against a hobbled Porzingis or an immobile Boban and is just free to take whatever three he wants or drive past those guys. So yeah, love Minnesota. I would try to take it. Yeah, 3-4 points, alternate spread, get some juice there. Or get it in early with some of your parlays tonight so that you can get it right now at just -1 because it seems like a pretty good lock here.
It does, and it seems like it's time for Cat to eat a bit tonight as well. He's definitely benefited from D'Lo being back as well in his stats and his points. I think a double-double tonight for him is very likely. We both feel really good about the win, and that's why you start to, if you think the spread's a little bit off, you can go alternate spread, or you can start to look at some of those player performance doubles because you're going to get more juice on them considering that spread is so low, right? If that spread was a bit higher and you had it closer to -5, -6, you might not get these great odds for these player performance doubles and a win for the T-Wolves tonight. So you've got things like Cat to get a double-double plus 180. Feel really good about that. Cat to get 26 points, kind of a crooked number, but 26 points and a win for Minnesota for Cat. plus 235 as well. Both of those I would consider taking tonight for him. As you said, he's going to have a mismatch wherever he is and who's ever guarding him tonight. To be honest, I don't think, especially with a toe injury, Kristaps, even though he's more fleet of foot maybe than Boban, he'll still be pretty hobbled and slow, not be able to move as quick, laterally. So Cat's going to be eating tonight for sure, wherever he is. There's those highlights of him just eating and dominating Anthony Davis recently as well. So, he's on a mission right now, and some things we feel good about there. So that is all the time we have for this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed, but we do have a couple other videos up for you today. And until we see you next, happy betting.